Hi there, today is a very simple, straightforward experiment, mixed media experiment, which is, can you use linseed oil to smooth out the look of oil pastels? Is there anything we can use to further smooth out the ragged edge that is oil pastel? So today I'm trying a very simple experiment and trying to see if I can do so with a brush and some refined linseed oil. And just in case you're new to my channel, this is a end part of an oil pastel series I'm doing for mixed media artists. And this is episode 5. Episode 1, we did an experiment with different brands. Episode 2, I have a full-length, real-time version of how to do this guy. Episode 3, I experiment with doing oil pastels over acrylics. Episode 4, we talked about what colored pencils are best to work with oil pastels. And episode 5, which is today, again, we're using linseed oil. Now, I was lucky enough to take an oil painting class at from a local artist just a few months ago. So here is one of the projects I did from that. I actually did this all in one evening session. This was our last class, and I banged this guy out. This is from a live model. So I do have some experience with straight up oil paints, and that's actually the reason why I have this linseed oil in the first place. I didn't need to go out and buy anything new for this. But so much of mixed media art is problem solving. Regardless of what mediums you're using, I'm always confronted with problems, and the biggest thing that I find I need to do is kind of like how to pivot and switch and twist and turn in order to get the effects that I want. So what I don't like about oil pastels is the raggy crayon looking look that they have. It drives me crazy. So one of the ways I got eliminated that is just putting on way more layers and continuing to blend them out with my fingers or blending stump or what have you. So that's kind of number one. Another way we were trying to get rid of that raggy edge is by using colored pencils. So as you can see here, these come to a nice defined points, but those are all coming from colored pencils being introduced into your project, which is great. We're mixed media artists, so that's exactly our forte. It's using the instruments and materials that we have on hand. But, and this is what I'm such a stickler about, there's so many things that you cannot use in mixed media, or you have to be super careful about which supplies you bring into your projects. And oil pastels, because they're oil based, you can't just go and chuck things on top. It does not work like that with anything oils. So what can work with oils? Well, we already know oils have to be the last layer. You can't go back to acrylics at this point. So how can we further fix these issues without color pencils, say? So I'm gonna just, again, trying a very simple experiment. So I do have dedicated oil painting brushes after taking that course. So you should not mix your acrylic paint brushes with your oil paint brushes, or definitely not your watercolor brushes. You should have separate brushes for each of those mediums. But before trying this, which I've never tried it, I'm saving that for this video and to be with you right now, I did do a whole bunch of further YouTube researching. I bought a few courses just to make sure I was okay to use the linseed oil for this move, so to speak, and the answer is yes. There's quite a ton of different, I'm trying to open this, of different mediums that the artists do use with oil paint. I can't even open that, so I'm gonna do it right from here. But this is in fact fine. This will prolong the drying time, but oil pastels don't dry out ever anyway, so it kind of is kind of a non-issue. I cannot get this open to save my life. Okay, I finally got it open. My favorite warning though is on the back of the bottle that says rags, steel wool, or waste soaked with this product may spontaneously catch fire if improperly discarded. Okay, so, read your labels. Let's not catch fire to anything today. Okay, so my experiment is super simple. I'm gonna dip one of my oil painting brushes into just a small amount of this refined linseed oil. I'm going to zoom in super close, and I'm going to run my brush even closer. I'm going to run my brush over these lines and see what happens. Now it's been a few days. Ooh. So far, the answer is nothing. It's been a few days since I did this project. So I didn't want to do it like when they were still fresh. Oh, is that working? It is working. Ooh, and it did just extendo my line. So like this ragged edge, ugh, drives me crazy. Oh, wow, yes, that is magic. So now I'm turning that rough, yucky, ragged edge into something delicious and smooth. Now I have to be careful. So I actually like it here, but I don't want it here, right where her eye is. Same thing, she's got these like, her eyelashes are terrible because they're like straight raggy lines. So again, will this allow me? Okay, so here's another thing too, is it's coming off a bunch off of my brush. So I also will need to wipe this off quite a bit on my paper towels and then dispose of this paper towel afterwards properly. This way I'm not contaminating my linseed oil, but I'm also not, you know, spontaneously combusting my home afterwards either. So it's obviously picking up a bunch of this. So we need to be careful. But look at that. So it does thin it out as well, but it is smoothing out those really craggy edges, which was my only hope and my only goal. So I'm a happy camper, because that means I can go around to my oil paintings, haha, and touch things up. Now, what will probably become important, again, I'm wiping this off, especially if I was gonna go and like change the colors. You can use the linseed oil to clean your brush before you switch colors. I'm not switching colors, but just making the point. So what also matters is the surface though, because you wouldn't be working on like just a piece of paper and then going back in and adding all of this medium. 1 second, Maggie. Maggie's like, I was just outside. You need to give me a cookie. Okay, you wouldn't want to do this on just a piece of paper if that's what you were working on previously. So I'm not sure. Ooh, I'm gonna have so much fun with this. Now we just kind of liquefied that. And again, this is still gonna be wet in like 3 days, so use it super sparingly. It's not something we're gonna be smothering, or I wouldn't be coating like her whole hair. I'm just using it on these very specific small places to refine the places that are super irking me. Yes, that looks so much better. But here I have my little foxy guy, and this is a piece of watercolor paper, so it should be fine. But that being said, I'm not gonna be using this as rigorously, probably over time, as I would on like that previous painting I was just working on was a canvas panel. So I know some artists work with like Bristol. You just need to be really careful when you're incorporating anything really wet onto, you know, something that's just like a piece of paper. It won't be able to handle it. But I think this will be really fun to experiment with. Just kind of running over the edges. Really tidies up and neatens up all that, which was, again, that was the problem for me, was that little raggy, the edge, I can't handle it. Which is weird because I am kind of a slob. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not an artist who ever gets upset about anything like that, but for some reason, the raggy edge of an oil pastel, anything pisses me off. I don't know why, but I'm working with it. So instead of being mad, I'm trying to figure out how to solve it. And to me, I think we just found the answer. So read your labels so you don't blow up your house. And if you ever run into a problem in any of your art projects, think outside the box or do some more research to figure out what can you do to fix the problem so it's not bothering you anymore. And if you have any questions about anything else, I might have tested it already, I'm not sure, but let me know and I'll see what I can do to help. I'm gonna do, I don't know that this is the end of the series, to be continued, but I definitely recommend checking out the other in this series if you haven't already. This is the shortest of all of them. I hope you learned something through this process, and I can't wait to do more oil painting projects down the road. The vibrancy of this is just freaking delicious. Like love. Love, love, love. And that is due to the vibrancy of those oil pastels. It really is. So super cool. Love how it looks over acrylics. Love how it looks by itself. And I can't wait to come up with more projects. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you next week. Bye.